Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 6 articles in this episode for you. All of the URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. The first one here is off of Conservative Tribune, and it says, to star on new cooking show. In 2008, faced with an ailing economy and a housing crisis, Americans picked a first-term senator from Illinois with the most liberal views of any president in American history to lead them into the future. That, as you may have noticed, didn't exactly turn out the way they thought it was supposed to. In 2017, now that the Obamas have left the White House, a cooking show has decided that a woman who made sure America's school lunches looked and tasted like jail food would be a great guest on a cooking show. What could possibly go wrong? According to Entertainment Weekly, Michelle Obama, former First Lady and dedicated enemy of Taco Tuesday, will be joining the show MasterChef Junior as a guest judge. MasterChef Junior, for the uninitiated, is a Fox cooking competition where Gordon Ramsay, a bullying celebrity chef, hyperkinetic waste of carbon and prescription amphetamines from the British Isles, berates unfortunate children for fun and profit. The Los Angeles Times reports that other guest judges will include Martha Stewart and a few of the Muppets. And when you consider the 3-year jail sentence Fonzie Bear served on Waka Waka wrongful death conviction, that makes Michelle Obama the only judge mentioned to not have done prison time. I'm waiting for the hamster to scroll this up. There's some video in this if you'd like to pull it up and take a look at that for yourself. It says, of course, the Muppets have taste buds of felt, which by the looks of the lunches that former First Lady approved on her watch may actually make them more qualified to pass judgment on food. Perhaps most significantly, though, it's yet another sign that the Obamas plan to stay in the spotlight even after they've left the White House. When most presidents leave the Oval Office, they and their spouses usually give the future president some space. The one prominent exception to this was Bill Clinton, whose wife was elected senator by the credulous people of New York, a state in which she barely even set foot, much less inhabited, during the 8 years prior to her 2000 election. This is simple. It gives whoever follows next a bit of breathing room to establish their own style of governing without the former First Lady or First Family breathing down their necks, criticizing their every move. It's what George W. Bush did for Obama and what the Obamas steadfastly refused to do for President Trump. Is that I see more of these shenanigans in the future. An appearance on Law and Order in which she kills an insurance industry executive for denying her husband Barack Salama treatment for a pre-existing condition after Obamacare is repealed. She's acquitted, and all of the prosecutors agree she's the bravest and smartest person they've ever charged. And a one-shot cameo on Stranger Things in which she blames President Reagan for the experiments. 11, a 3-episode appearance as a misunderstood spy handler with a heart of gold on Burn Notice Revival. The possibilities are endless, and that's unfortunate for an America that's mostly suffering from an Obama exhaustion and a Hollywood establishment that uncritically loves the former First Lady. We've had 8 years. That was enough. Take a vacation, guys. A long one. Really. It's okay now. They enjoyed taking so many vacations that they were in the White House on the American taxpayers' dole. Now they're out of the White House and they can just go and vacation to their heart's content for as long as they want to, and they won't do it. Something's wrong with this picture. Next article I have here is off of Western Journalism. It says Sanders shrugs off business owners' concern about Obamacare. When a Texas small business owner tried to make Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent in Vermont, understand how Obamacare was throttling her business, Sanders made it clear her dilemma mattered little to him. The exchange took place Tuesday evening during a CNN televised debate about Obamacare. During the debate, LaRonda Hunter, a Fort Worth hair salon owner, said she's unable to grow her business to be larger than 50 employees because she can't afford to provide them with health insurance as required under Obamacare. Come on, hamster. Sanders says, let me give you an answer you will not be happy with. I think that business that employ 50 people or more, I think that in America today, everybody should have health care. And if you have more than 50 people, you know what? I'm afraid to tell you, I think you will have to provide health insurance. Hunter was not satisfied. So my question is, how do I do that without raising my prices to my customers or lowering the wages to my employees, she asked. Sanders tried to turn aside Hunter's concerns by joking that he was not much of an expert on hairdressing in general. He told Hunter that if other businesses were providing health insurance and she was not, those businesses are in an unfair competitive situation. You can compete and maybe charge lower prices, get business, while they, on the other hand, might be providing decent health insurance, Sanders said. When Hunter said profit margins at salons are about the same, Sanders again said he was not an expert in Fort Worth hair salons, but stuck to his point. If you have more than 50 people, you should be providing health insurance, Sanders concluded. However, Hunter had one person on her side, Senator Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, who called Obamacare's mandate that employers provide health insurance the nation's biggest job killer. There are millions of small businesses in the exact situation you're in, Cruz told Hunter. Businesses like hers are being told by Democrats, tough luck. We don't care if it drives you out of business, Cruz said. That's taking away opportunity, and it's hurting, in particular, the most vulnerable. It's one of the most damaging things about Obamacare. The next one that I have for you is off of BizPack Review. And it says, left-wing America sets up to call for free money and federal jobs guarantee. Following a devastating election cycle where the American voting public sent a sharp rebuke to the status quo and policies of the Obama administration, the left is now preparing to push for a universal income, or UBI. Left-leaning Americans are largely opposed to President Donald Trump's cabinet picks, all the way from Attorney General Jeff Sessions to President's pick to lead Democrat or to lead Department of Labor fast food executive Andy Puzder. Labor unions have blasted Puzder for past commitments or comments about the future of low-wage workers in the fast food industry. Puzder warned that the fight for $15 minimum wage will hurt low-wage workers more than it can help, arguing that a better policy would be to encourage the private sector to create more middle-class jobs. Professors Mark Paul and William Darity Jr. from Duke University, along with Derek Hamilton from the Milano School of International Affairs, argued that the country needs a federal jobs guarantee in an article published recently in Jacobin magazine, a self-proclaimed leading voice of the American left. Supporters of UBI argued that a government-subsidized wage guarantee to all citizens would stave off job loss from automation and advancements in technology. Why we need a federal job guarantee theorizes that giving everyone a job is the best way to democratize the economy and give workers leverage in the workplace. Paul, Darity, and Hamilton argue that a UBI could successfully cover workers who have lost their jobs due to technological advancements. Existing social insurance programs are insufficient, the professors write. They offer 5 reasons in support of a federal jobs guarantee, including the notion of preempting the problem before it is widespread. Robots haven't taken over yet, they write, suggesting that getting ahead of the problem will reduce the numbers of poor Americans. A UBI would redefine the relationship between individuals and the state by giving government the role of provider, said Orrin Cass, domestic policy director for former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney 2012 presidential campaign in June of 2016. It would make work optional and render self-reliance moot, he continued. An underclass dependent on government handouts would no longer be one of society's greatest challenges, but instead would recast as one of the proudest achievements, Cass warned in a piece published by the National Review. Labor experts seriously question free cash as sound economic policy, but some experts, including those who don't identify left, are not completely opposed to a jobs program. Giving people cash is not the solution to improving opportunity. Parna Mathur, a labor policy expert with the American Enterprise Institute, the AEI, told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Maher did not rule out the idea of a federal jobs program, but warned against unconditional handouts. If cash transfers are conditional on work or job training, they are much more likely to be effective in improving mobility than if we simply give everybody an unconditional cash transfer, she told the DCNF, refusing to rule out the idea of a federal jobs guarantee completely. The professors said that federal jobs guarantee could build an inclusive economy and that it could provide socially useful goods and services. The language fails to take into consideration the additional benefits that may compel a company to install automation for certain jobs. Some jobs don't produce enough economic value to bear the increased minimum wage, Pudzer said to the Wall Street Journal in 2014. In the long run, encouraging people to work or acquire skills and training and education is the only way to help people move up in life, Maher explained in a statement that could comport with federal jobs program. If we gave people money without making it conditional on work, it might reduce their incentive to work, Maher concluded. You think? Finland experimented with UBI with some unemployed Finnish citizens taking home a salary regardless of whether or not they're working. The nation's largest labor union, the Central Organization of Finnish Trade Unions, or SAK, said that the policy might reduce the labor force. SAK also asserted that a UBI makes it easier for potential prospects to turn down unpleasant jobs, opting to just take the government handout instead. The next one we have here is off of PamGeller.com. It says, threatening left-wing mob gathers outside Mitch McConnell's Kentucky home. Civil war is coming. It's just a shot away. They lost the last one, and they're going for it again. The left-wing primitives have been inciting and agitating for war. According to the photos released by Huffington Post front page editor Phil Lewis, a large crowd was gathered outside Mitch McConnell's home in Louisville, Kentucky. A crowd reportedly reading the letter Coretta Scott King wrote about now Attorney General Jeff Sessions. One Twitter user named Nathaniel Gardner captured a video of the crowd, reportedly 200 strong, repeating the words of explanation concerning Warren's dismissal from the podium. And there's some video and tweets and stuff in this if you want to pull it up, and some pictures of what's going on. It says presumably the reason this is occurring is due to Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts being silenced after impugning Sessions on the Senate floor. This is against the rules of the Senate, and thus Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican of Kentucky, raised an objection, forcing Senator Steve Daines, Republican of Montana, who was acting as presiding officer, to simply say the senator will take her seat. This brought on a wave of support from the left for Warren, who was compared as a hero to the likes of Rosa Parks. And Malala Yousafzai, along with the Twitter hashtag She Persisted. The insanity is rampant. The next one I have is off of NBCChicago.com, and it says Chris Kennedy announces bid for Illinois governor. And there's video in this if you want to see that. After months of speculation, Chicago Democrat Chris Kennedy officially announced his candidacy in 2018 governor's race Wednesday. I moved to Illinois 30 years ago with enthusiasm for business and a commitment to serve, Kennedy said in a statement. Today, I am announcing my run for governor because I love Illinois, but we have never been in worse shape. We need incremental improvement. We need fundamental change in state government. By working together to achieve results for Illinois families, I believe I can restore the American dream in our state within a generation, he added. Kennedy, the son of late Bobby Kennedy, has become increasingly visible over the past year, meeting with labor and party leaders in Illinois. In July, he spoke at the Democratic National Convention, slamming Governor Bruce Renner in front of the Illinois delegation. As expected, Kennedy became the second high-profile Democrat to challenge Renner in the 2018 governor's race after Alderman Amia Pawar announced his candidacy last month. In his announcement Wednesday, Kennedy stressed solidarity and touted his business acumen. It's time for Illinois to again embrace the American dream, the notion that we are a country and a state where anyone can make it and where unlimited opportunity is the promise of our country, Kennedy said. Every job I've had, every organization I've been part of has relied on teams working together and shared leadership, which resulted in shared success, he added. I've straddled the world of business, politics, and social justice. I know how an economy is meant to function, not just for the rich, but for all members of all communities. Together we can fix the mess and restore the promise of our state. The Democrat who previously managed Chicago's merchandise Mart and now heads a hunger relief nonprofit alongside his wife, reportedly aims to partially self-fund his campaign. Ronner used Kennedy's announcement as an opportunity to fundraise for his own campaign Wednesday. We're here to tell you that Illinois deserves better, the governor's campaign said. Why? Because Chris Kennedy is a pawn of Mike Madigan. Kennedy secretly met with Mike Madigan to get his seal of approval before announcing his candidacy, and now he wants to do Madigan's bidding. During the DNC, Kennedy met with House Speaker Michael Madigan to discuss his prospective bid. Madigan, who serves as the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois, said Kennedy would make an excellent candidate for governor. The Illinois Republican Party also slammed Kennedy and Madigan Wednesday, launching a website to highlight their ties. Representative Sherry Bustos announced Tuesday that she has given herself a 30-day deadline to decide whether she'll run in the race, according to the QC Times. Bustos is among a growing list of prospective candidates for the race. Last month, the Illinois Democratic County Chairman's Association announced the results of their first online gubernatorial straw poll. The poll, which was conducted between January the 23rd and January 29th and received 5,352 responses, asked respondents to select their preferences Democratic or their preferred Democratic candidate to run for governor in 2018. State Senator Daniel Biss received the most votes, with a quarter of respondents backing the Evanston mathematician. Pawar finished second, receiving 15% of the vote, while Kennedy pulled in 12%. Additionally, Bustos received 11% of the vote. Billionaire J.B. Pritzker, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, scored 10%. State Senator Andy Manar garnered 7%. Representative Robin Kelly received 4%. State Senator Kawama Riol tallied 2%, and Chicago Treasurer Kurt Summers received 1% of the vote. Missing from the list of prospective candidates was Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan, who chose not to be included, and former Governor Pat Quinn, who wasn't considered a new candidate by the IDCCA. Nevertheless, Madigan grabbed 87 votes as write-in option, while Quinn received 45 votes. Another write-in candidate included Senator Dick Durbin, who received 41 votes, and State Treasurer Mike Fairch, who received 24 votes. Alex Patericus, a young political newcomer who already declared his candidacy for the race, also pulled in 39 votes. The final article in this episode is off of BizPack Review, and it says, former EPA chief denies war on coal while sitting in front of a coal sucks poster. Can't make this stuff up. The head of the EPA under President Barack Obama vehemently denied politicians and environmentalists waged war on coal. There's just one problem. She's sitting in front of a coal sucks poster in the office of California's top state senator. And there's a picture of it. The article continues and says, former EPA Chief Gina McCarthy huddled with Democratic lawmakers in Sacramento Thursday to advise them on how the state could move forward with policies aimed at fighting global warming while the Trump administration dismantled Obama's environmental agenda. McCarthy took over EPA in Obama's second term and oversaw the implementation of the president's climate action plan, which included sweeping regulations on power plants and natural gas wells. Republicans and coal supporters say these regulations were part of the administration's war on coal. I'm concerned about the administration and their commitments, McCarthy told reporters, according to E&E News, blasting skeptics of global warming as following a politically induced religion. Trump's pledge to repeal Obama's global warming plan and laid out an America First energy plan to boost U.S. energy production. Trump has already issued executive orders to repeal old regulations and remove forward with building the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. More executive orders are on the way, and environmentalists are looking to states to implement climate policies. California has positioned itself as a bulwark against Trump's policies. Right now, if we're not going to get leadership at the federal level, it's important that the states like California continue to stand up and that they speak for people and their right to have clean air and stable climate. Apart from seeking advice from McCarthy, California has retained former Attorney General Eric Holder to aid the state in legal battles against the Trump administration. And that's all I have for you in this episode. If you like what I'm doing, give it a thumbs up. Share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. If you haven't subscribed yet, you might do that, and that way you'll stay informed. I'll see you in the next episode.